Hey, it's Erin here at Evermint Design Studio. I'm just going on here today for a quick tutorial on how to create a graphic for Facebook for your business page in Photoshop. And just a quick tutorial here on how to sign up and what the dashboard looks like once you get into Photoshop. If you go to adobe.com/creative-cloud/photography, it'll bring you to the plans. I believe there is a trial period, a free trial that you can download to get started. And then after that, it's $9.99 a month, and you get Photoshop as well as Lightroom, which is a really awesome editing tool for any photographs that you take. So that's that. I'll also drop the link below. And then we're just going to go right into Photoshop, and I'm going to show you what I have here. First of all, when you open up Photoshop, you'll see this is kind of like your workspace. If you go to Window, Workspace, you can select for kind of whatever project you're working on. I usually go with Essentials just to keep it simple, but you can move these palettes around. As you can see, when that blue line comes up, you can attach palettes to each other, and then just click on the tabs to select whatever you like. There's also some that are already right in here. To open them, there's the brushes, and if you want to close it, you just hit the two carrots right here. Okay, let's get started. I am going to create a post for my business page. My other business is a wedding invitation design studio, so I'm just going to create a little promotional graphic for that. So if I go up here to go to File, New, or you can hit Command or Control N. And since this is going to be displayed online, I'm going to choose Web. I don't want this artboard here, so I'm just going to deselect that. And a good size for just a regular Facebook post, I'm just going to do 500 by 500 square. To keep that looking crisp, I'm just going to do the 300 resolution, and we'll keep it at RGB color mode since it's displaying online. And then the background can stay white. And then I'm just going to hit create. So this will bring up my white square. What I want to do first is I'm going to show you the layers palette, which is pretty much the most important palette when you're working in Photoshop. So I'm just going to go Window, Layers, or you can also hit F7 if you use those keys. And let's see. I think it must be, oh, here. Okay, we already have the layers palette up here. So it's right here on the right hand side. You can see the only layer we have right now is the background layer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to import my image. So I'm going to do File, Place Embedded, and that will embed my image right into my document here. So I'm just going to select the folder where I have it. And I just have some nice greenery flowers here. I got these from a website called unsplash.com, and you can go there and search for photos that are free for commercial use. So that's where I found that image. It's unsplash.com. Okay, so we have a nice background here. When I hit File, Place Embedded, then when the photo was in here, it asked me to apply it, and I'll just do that again because I kind of did that really fast. I'm just going to delete that. File, Place Embedded. I'm going to select, double click my file, my photo. Okay, now right here what you can do is drag out these edges. I always hit the Shift key and then drag because then it will scale it. You can hit Option Shift 2 and then that'll scale it exactly how you'd like it there. And then you want to hit place, and that places it right in there. Okay, now I'm going to do an overlay, which is pretty easy. If you want to go over to the shape section here, which is this rectangle that pops up, I'm just going to select a rectangle, and I'm going to hit the Shift key and just drag down. Okay, and then I don't want this to be black, so let's say we just want to do a really transparent white over this so we can see the flowers coming through the background. So from here, if you go down to this little FX right here, it'll say add a layer style. So I'm going to click on that, and it's a menu, and I want this color to be white. So I'm going to do a color overlay. I'm going to select that, and right up here is where you select your colors. So I'm just going to click on that color, hit white, hit OK, and then the opacity right here is where you can make it transparent. So I really want to bring this down. Actually, I'm going to do that in the other layer here, because this is something different. Okay, let's just hit OK right here. Okay, now I'm going to do the opacity. So once I have this rectangle layer selected, go up to opacity, and you click the drop down menu, and right there I'm liking that 47. That looks good because I can see everything through there. So far so good. I want to make sure this is centered, so I'm going to select my directional tool up here and just kind of play with it. As you can see, there's lines that pop up as guides for you, and that's really helpful to make sure that you're centering things and everything's looking good. All right, so from here I want to add in my logo, so I'm just going to do the file, place embedded again, and I'm going to go and find my logo, and I'm going to click on this just to open it up and see what my options are. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one, and from here I'm gonna hit Option Shift because I want to scale that down. And actually, if I hit place, there we go. Okay, so now that's looking good. And then the next thing I want to do is add some text. So if you go over to your layers palette here, if you click on this little paper icon with the edge folded up, this will show you it's create a new layer. So I'm going to just create that new layer there, and I'm going to go up to my text tool, which is the T. And then if you click anywhere on this area on your layer, you can start typing. And I'm just going to come up with a subject line, how to, okay, and you can see my text is really big when I'm typing that. So I'm going to hit Command A to select all, and I'm going to go up to my characters palette, and I'm going to select the size. I'm just going to bring that way down so I know what I'm working with. I'm going to bring that down to like 16. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the Move tool up here, the directional tool, and I'm going to just pull this down. And this is telling me it's centered, but what I also want to do is go up to paragraph, and it is centered. I just want to make sure that this is centered up here. Okay, so now I can go back into this, and I'm going to click on my layer again. I'm going to click where I left off. I'm going to hit enter, and as you can see, my my leading, which is the space in between these two lines, is really large. So I'm going to go in and fix that too, and I'm just going to bring that up to auto, and that should fix that for me. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to select all of this again, Command A, and I'm just going to go auto, and now that should be good. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and I'm going to make my subject how to DIY your wedding, and that's just going to be my title. I'm just going to make those capitalized, and I think I want to use a different font and color for this. So make sure your layer is selected. I'm going to go up to the characters palette, and I'm going to go with, I'm actually going to select this font right here, Montserrat, and color wise, you just click on the color here. You can, if you want to take a color that's from your image just to keep everything cohesive, or from your logo, when you select color, it brings up this color picker, and when you go onto your photo, you can click, and that will turn the text the color of something you click on. So if you want it pink or this color, you know, something that stands out, I'm kind of liking that, and I'm just gonna hit OK. I'm kind of noticing on the spacing in between these sentences here is a little too much. So I'm just going to go and bring that down a little bit just to see what I get. I'm going to kind of mess with the leading on here. Go to 18. And then just for some emphasis, I'm going to go in and select this last word, wedding. And I'm just going to make this kind of a cool script font. And I'll just select this one that I have right here. Okay, and so I'm liking how that's looking. What I am noticing is this transparent box. I feel like it could be a little bit darker just because it gets a little busy with that text behind it. So I'm going to go click on my rectangle layer, and I'm going to go back up to opacity where I first kind of fixed that, and I'm going to bump that up a little. And I think that's still good. I can still see the image behind it. But now the text is a little bit more readable. And so I'm really liking that. And I think that's looking good. So now we have our completed graphic here. So you want to output that for, so you can post that right to Facebook. So first of all, make sure, I should have mentioned this before, but always save as your Photoshop file. So you just go File, Save As. And I'm just going to put like a good description for it. Facebook post. Okay. You can type that in. We're going to leave that as a Photoshop file because that'll be our original template that we can go from, and you can reuse that and just save over it. And then I'm just going to hit save and okay. Okay, so now for Facebook, when we want to post that, we want that to be a JPEG. That's going to compress this file, make it smaller, and so that it'll load really fast when you upload it to Facebook. So now I'm going to go File, Save As, and the format, I'm just going to select JPEG, and I don't worry about those warnings down there. I'm just going to hit Save, and we could even go maximum on this. As far as like this size right here, so like this is 132.8 kilobytes. That's a really good size. I would say anything under 300 kilobytes is good. You want to stay away from being like in the megabytes for Facebook, just because I don't think they accept a certain file size that's bigger than that. But I would say keep it around like 300K and lower. And I'm going to hit OK. And now when I go to Facebook, I'm just going to go into my account here. And I'm going to switch over to my wedding invitation shop page. Okay, so if you click here, this is where you can just attach a photo. So upload your photo. And I'm going to go into my file. And I'm just going to select that JPEG. And let's see. I'm just going to post this really quick and then delete it. But okay, then you can just type whatever you want to say and then just hit publish. And I'll just show you like how that looks. And see, you have your completed graphic and it looks really crisp and clear and awesome. And you did that all in Photoshop. And it was pretty easy, right? Okay, so hopefully I'm going to be posting some more of these tutorials. If you guys like these, let me know, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks.